Hello everybody and welcome to another tutorial in camera and lens repair. And this time I will show how one can fix the probably fix the focus problem in AFS Nikkor 18-200mm 3.5 to 5.6 G, and it's a ED lens with the VR. The problem is that the loose flex cables is actually, well, not so good anymore. So, but let's see what's happened actually. You can see I can set the lens to something like infinity, even if I set it to 200mm or 18mm. But if I put it on my camera, what will happen next? You see, I would like to show if I focus on something near. So what will happen if I get that or even closer? Well, it will not continue. And if we take a closer look, set it to infinity, and I move down with the focus. Oh gosh, it gets stuck at almost a little over 1 meter. And it doesn't really matter if it's with the autofocus or the manual, or the switch here is set to M. It will still do the same. So what could be the problem? Yeah, we'll take a look. I think I have an idea of what it could be. So, and by doing, looking into the repair manual for this, which you can find on the internet. Yeah, let's take a look. The first thing we need to do is actually, before we actually go into the lens, it's simply, we missed some tools. Yeah, we will need some tools here, which will be some tweezers, just an ordinary tweezer, and maybe a straight dented tweezer is very handy. It's nothing really special, so you can buy them on the internet. And this is a curved tweezer, which I have sprayed with plastic coat, plastic dip, which will make the end very sticky. Well, this is a bit used, so maybe it doesn't work so much good. And we need some JIS screwdrivers. Those are from Moody Tools, which I buy them on ifixit.com. And just to get things clear, I am not sponsored by any company. All the things I show in my videos is just by with my own money, so no one sponsored me. And yeah, so it is. So that's clear. We need a 2mm and a 2.5mm, and it's important it is JIS, because this is a Japanese made lens, or designed in Japan. Some dentist tool is also very handy, especially one with a pointy end here, and one with a kind of a spade in both ends. But this end, which have soft corners, is really good for doing repair. We also need some cotton buds and some isopropyl alcohol, 99%. You can also use the 90 or the 70. We do not have to really clean any lens element in here, but more some surface in here. I will try to use some TISA double-side adhesive tape, which we will probably fix the problem in here. And a lens blower is also very handy. And some thread lock, which I use the Loctite 222. A solder iron. This is a wireless from PEC tool, which is really good, rechargeable. And some, yeah. Let's continue and get into it. The first thing we need to do is simply pry off the zoom rubber, because then that's the very beginning. So go under the zoom ring with the tool here and just gently pry it off. So there, and we are almost there. Now it's free, and we can just take it off. That's it. Next thing is, and oh, we see a screw here, but that's a good thing. There is a screw, but do not unscrew this screw. It's not necessary in this case, because it will make a lot more trouble to actually put things back in again or disassemble the lens. What we actually need to do is simply peel off the tape. You can see there is a tape here around the zoom ring all the way, and we simply need to take it off. And we can just, where it is, find the end. Here, I guess it's here, no, maybe it's here. It's right here. And simply pry it off. And one can just use a tweezer to maybe help it get even more. We will need this tape again. And before we actually continue, just to make things sure we are coming back to the normal again, we'll just make a scratch here. So into the plastic. Just to be sure, the two rings here, the front here and the plastic here, will sit in line. So we know where things sit before we took it apart. And then just simply pry it off all the way. It's pretty long. And then we are there. I'll just put it on my table here. So, sorry, it's out of frame, I know, but I just put the long tape on my desk here. So now we can actually see what's going on here, and this ring is actually loose. Maybe we should zoom out a little. So here we are. Now then we can continue to actually go in from the back here, and I would say we will take off the mount, but before doing so we need to take off, to unscrew 3 screws here that hold the back plastic ring here. We'll say there, hope you can see it there, not this one, it's the locking screw when you put it on the camera. So it's only this screw here and this one here, and later on we will take off the 2 screws. It's difficult to see because it's so shiny. The contact bridge here is held by 2 screws, one there and one there. Oh, yeah, here. So we will just unscrew it. with a 2mm JIS screwdriver. And we'll take this screw here and the last one for this ring, and we can just continue with the contact bridge. So there, and the last one. So it's good with a magnetized screwdriver, which will make it much easier to actually unscrew the, take the screws out. Take care of the flex cable in here. It's a bit fragile, so we can just, maybe I can zoom out, so to make it easier to actually get this ring out. So it is made of plastic. And now we actually look into the back of the lens here, but we need to unscrew 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, take care of the flex cable here. We can use a little bigger screwdriver. It will say the 2.5mm. The screws, 3 of the screws are actually pretty long, but only one is the short one. Which goes into the part of the plastic parts. See, the screws are pretty long, and the last of the long screws. So, and we also take the last one, which is a short one. You can see. And now we can actually take off the mount, and we can just zoom out to 18 so we have a short lens to work with. And then take off the mount. Take care, there is a pretty long aperture pin here, connection pin. We do not need to unscrew those 2 screws down here, not necessary. So we can just lift out gently the mount and take care of the flex here. And you have to hold down here on the zoom ring or just the end of the lens. So gently pry off the back. You see the aperture connection pin here is pretty long. And now we can continue with the back here, which we actually need to, the switch board here. There are a flex cable that goes into the main board, which we need to also detach. Let's see. I will also take out this thin, the very thin adjustment washers. You can see here. In this lens, there's only 2 thin brass rings. It could be different in your lens. There might be 2 or 3, maybe one thin one and maybe one thick and 2 thins. It just when they make the adjustment, it's the way they kind of make the adjustment, micro adjustment, kind of in the factory. Now, then we can take off the back here, but take care of this flex here. You see? So it is. And there are two small pins, one on each side, which we need to actually move a little and wiggle it out there, and then we can simply just pull out the cable, flex cable. So, and now we are actually looking into the lens, the back of the lens with all the flex cables here. The one here we do not need to take off because it's just the contact bridge here, connection to the camera. So all the other, it will say one for the distance, the distance head MDR, which is also attached to here, and we will just gently one side and the other side. They maybe have a tool in the factory, I don't know. I think they do it in the almost same way. And then just pull it out. And this one here, the big one, do the same. And simply with my special tweezer here, one can simply pull it out. So, and we can also do the this one here. That's the type you just lift up. So there, and then it's free actually. So you do not need any force to put it in or pull it out. So now there are some wires, at least one. The black one here, which we can probably see here. This wire here is attached to this point here, soldering point here. And I will just make a mark so I can find it again with any problems, just to be sure where it should sit. And before I actually unscrew the wire, I will just put a mark down here so I know where it should sit on under which screw. Now, and we can just desolder it right now, and so we can continue to take off the main board and continue under, because there are also flex cables underneath here. So just to make it easier. So when this little fellow have heated up, we can just desolder it. So now that's free. So next thing is to actually lift up and it will make it easier when you turn the zoom ring to get the lens, the back lens group out of place, so you actually easier can see what's happened. Now, the main board is actually loose at the moment, and we need to actually do some detach. Where did it go here? Because there are two sensors. It's actually the sensors that is from the VR. It will say this small board here and this small board here. And there is one cable that actually goes into a socket here. So we actually need to pry off the 2 pin that locks the the connector. And let's see what's going on here. And there is some spaces here. So it might, they have to sit there. So I better, before I do anything, set a small mark here where those spacers has to sit, and over here. Because then the things are sitting correct. And there is actually 3 of them. So there's one sitting here, there, and there. Now, then we can take off the one cable from the to the USM motor, and simply pull it out of the connector, and hopefully we can lift this up and coming under here. What I don't need to do is actually that's just to make things easier. I could desolder the 2 wires here to the brush in here, but I don't need to do that. I just need to unscrew one screw here and the other screw over here, simply to get the USM section free, or the assembly. So out of those, and the other one, take care of the flex. And now it's loose. So then I can simply lift off the hold, the main board here, and the USM assembly. So that's quite easy, but take care of the 2 wires here. They're pretty thin. Just have a good grip on those, and then I can, let's see how it will go, dig under it so we can see what's happening here. So the next thing is to do is simply push on the 2 side, one side there and the other, hopefully you can see it, each side of the connector here, and then it should come free. It sits here, and this is the flex here, which we can see here, this one. And now everything is free. Not free in that way, but free. And then I can actually pull off the focusing ring. It can only sit in one way. And now we are actually much closer into what we need to actually fix. So you see, there's 2 things we need to do before actually doing anymore. The point is that where did it go? Where did it go? See, the focusing ring, it's the dented section here, is actually moved by the motor, the focusing system here, and this gear here, this one here, is actually the one that connects to the dented ring here. So we can actually move the, as you can see, I can move the focusing system and we need to actually come into some parts here, but what I like to do is simply take off the two maybe it's not necessary. I think I will just let it stay here, the two sensors. They could sometimes be loose, but since they are already locked into place where they should sit, so I will just let them sit there. The thing we need to unscrew is actually the brush, which sits down here. Hopefully you can see if I move. This screw down there is actually the focusing brush, and it goes against the circuit board in here, which you can see here. That's the one we need to unscrew. But there's one thing we need to check. If you can see in here, I will explain it when I detach it. You see the end of the circuit board here, there is a gap on the circuit board. That's where the brush is ending. I know it's difficult to see because it's not very easy to show, but you probably can see where it ends when it's on infinity. So this is where the brush has to sit when I assemble it again. So now I can just unscrew it, and that's what I will do. Take care of the little flex here from the MDR. But you can see it down here. There's a little screw. And we need to take care of the brush itself. Oh gosh. And it can sometimes be a little tricky. So here it comes out. And now the other screw, because there is another one over here, which we also need to take out. It's the one down here. If I move, you can see it down here. We need to unscrew. It's the focusing key, and part of it is actually kind of struggling against the this side of this flex cable, but down here you maybe can see it's kind of you can see it goes against the side of the flex cable, so I need to unscrew that, or if I am lucky I could put a see, a kind of a piece of wood from the food industry. Hopefully I can come down here and just move the flex cable a little and be lucky enough. Nah, I can just try again, or maybe my dentist tool can do it better. Yeah. Oh, that's great. See, now we are actually more, it's easier right now. So have a grip here on the dented ring and unscrew these parts. So there. And this tiny kind of a brush. And then the focusing key needs to be taken out. And that's a good thing with a dented tweezer, because then you have a much better grip. I mean, hopefully it can be done. And here we are. So now there's actually no connection between the focusing ring so you can see I can just move it all the way as I want. So the next thing is to actually unscrew the 3 screws that hold the whole lens, I mean the focusing housing, and there are 3 screws here. And just to make it easier when you assemble it, we can just set a mark here. Not a really good pen. Just set a mark some here and down here. So you have a it will just make it easier for you to determine where should things sit. So let's continue with the little wire here. So, and we just continue with the next. And the last one. And out with that. So now it's actually possible to take out the whole housing here. And well, I thought it should be more easy, but we simply need to take out those 2 small flex cable here. And gently lift it up. So there. It's a kind of a rubber glue or whatever it is. And then the other one. really sticky, but not really. So, and now it's free. So this is how it looks. Then we continue with actually lifting out the whole section here. Should be possible to do. As I remember. Yeah. Oh gosh, I think I should have everything in place. Should come off. Come on. Yeah, I know. There's something wrong. Just forgot something. As we can see where it is. So it was possible. Just a little wiggle with the. So now here we can see the zoom ring, and this is why I mentioned in the beginning that we should not unscrew this, because it's a hell of a thing to get on again when we have the focusing system in here. So there's no need for that. So that's it. And now we are much closer to the point where things go interesting. Maybe you can see here on the flex side of the flex cable. Gosh, it's not good. You can see this lens is actually damaged. And this is why it's not, I mean, one need to add a new flex cable here, because it's simply broken. Not good. This is not really any good. But you can see the point is that the focusing key is very close to the cable, because the adhesive tape here is actually loosened over time, and when it's loosened there's not much space between the focusing key and the flex. So one needs to actually press it a little in and stick it onto the tape again to make it possible to actually focusing again. But another thing is in the repair manual, the two wings here on the side of the flex should sit actually just above the tube here, and as we can see here is much lower, so the focusing key has actually pulled a lot when focusing of UC focusing ring, it has actually drawn the flex cable down here and make it even worse. And so the actual flex cable is broken. Not good design. But that's actually the problem in this lens. Shame on that. So there's actually nothing I can do about it. Well, if one can get a new flex cable here that I think goes all the way down to the VR section. Oh, yeah, I think it must be that. But you can see this is really not good. Shame on that. So that's actually all for me. Bye bye.